Now we are going to see the Unit 2 of number theory. This unit consists of the following topics. Here I deal with the concepts of congruences. Under this topic congruences, we are going to deal with solutions, congruences of higher degree, and very important function, Euler phi function, and prime power module. Prime power module. So these are the subtopics we are going to deal under this topic, congruences. So to begin with, let us see the definition of a basic modulo operation. A modulus of n. A mod n is equal to R. If and only if there exists Q such that A is equal to Qn plus R. So whenever I say that A modulo n is equal to R, then it will be coming under the condition of there exists an integer Q such that A is equal to Qn plus R, where R lies between 0 less than equal to R less than equal to n minus 1. And here we can say that Q is nothing but a quotient, R is nothing but a remainder, and A is nothing but a dividend, and N is nothing but a divisor. Okay, yes. So for a small example, I can take here for this A mod n, I'm just taking one example. 7 mod 3 is equal to 1. So now I want to say the 7 mod 3 equal to 1 based on this if and or if condition. So how can I say this one? So 7 should be divided by 3. So when I divide 7 by 3, I'm getting the quotient as 2 and remainder as 1. So I can say that there exists a number 2 such that 7 is equal to 2 into 3 plus 1. So here R is nothing but equal to 1. R is nothing but equal to 1. Same thing, minus 7 mod 3 equal to 2. I need the number here minus 7. So in this case, here I have a negative number minus 7. So we have to choose the Q value properly. At the same time, we have to remember that R lies between greater than or equal to 0. Okay. So R cannot be negative. So in this case, so minus 7 mod 3 equal to 2. I can write in this form as minus 7 is equal to. See the place of Q, what can I take here? Minus 3. Minus 3. So minus 7 is equal to minus 3 into 3 plus 2. So minus 3 into 3, what do you have? Minus 9 plus 2. So minus 9 plus 2 is equal to minus 7. So here the Q value is minus 3 and here the Q value is equal to 2. So this is the definition for a basic model operation. A mod n is equal to R if and only if there exists Q such that A is equal to Qn plus R. Next, congruence relation. Let us take three integers A, B, and N, where N is a positive integer. Now we say A is congruent. This is nothing but a congruent symbol. A is congruent to B mod N if A minus B is a multiple of N. A minus B is a multiple of N. Otherwise, we can say that N divides A minus B. A minus B is a multiple of N is same as N divides A minus B. That is, A minus B is nothing but 12 means N is equal to 3 means what can I say? 12 is a multiple of 3. Otherwise, what can I say here? 3 divides 12. Both are same. So, A is congruent to any one number is congruent to another number modulus of any other number means then its subtraction should be a multiple of the modulo n. So A is congruent to B mod n if A minus B is a multiple of n. Let us see some basic properties here. All these things are familiar for us. A small recap over here. So properties, A is congruent to B mod n. If and only if, as I told you already, n divides A minus B. Otherwise, n divides B minus A. Otherwise, as per the previous definition, for some integer k, A is equal to B plus K. That is K dot n plus B for some integer k. Otherwise, B is equal to K dot n plus A for some integer k. Okay. Just see this definition. So we have to be familiar with this congruent definition. A is congruent to B mod n if A minus B is a multiple of n. And these are the properties. N divides A minus B. That only you please remember. N divides A minus B or N divides B minus A, or A is equal to K dot n plus B for some integer k, or B is equal to K dot n plus A for some integer k. Now let us see this example. 32 congruent to 7 mod 5. So as per this definition, A minus B is a multiple of n. So here what can you say here? 32 minus 7, 35. So 35 is a multiple of 5. Otherwise what can you say? 5 divides 35. Sorry, 5 divides 25. So 32 minus 7, that is equal to 25. 25 is a multiple of 5. Otherwise, what can we say? 5 divides 25. Same thing here. Minus 12 congruent to 37 mod 7. If we subtract, what will I get now? Minus 12 minus 37. Minus 12 minus 37 is nothing but minus 49. Minus 49 is a multiple of 7. Otherwise, 7 divides minus 49. Okay, same thing, the next one also. 17 congruent to 17 mod 13. Next, properties of congruence relation. Proposition. Let A comma B comma C comma n be the integers with n greater than 0. E is congruent to 0 mod n if and only if n divides A. This is as per the definition of the congruency. As per the definition of congruency, what can we say here? N divides A minus 0. Otherwise, A minus 0 is a multiple of n. So n divides A minus 0 means n divides A. Again, A is congruent to A mod n. Okay, this is a basic thing. And here, if A is congruent to B mod n, if and only if B is congruent to A mod n. Okay, that is A minus B. Just like the previous one, A minus B is a multiple of n. Here, B minus A is a multiple of n. This both or vice versa over there. If A is congruent to B mod n, if and only if B is congruent to A mod n. The next one, if A is congruent to B mod n and B is congruent to C mod n, then automatically A is congruent to C mod n. There's nothing but just two steps will be getting the proof here. A minus B is a multiple of n, B minus C is a multiple of n. So from these two things, we can say that A minus C is a multiple of n. That is, we are saying that congruence modulo n is an equivalence relation, same thing. Congruence modulo n is an equivalence relation. It satisfies the reflexive property, symmetric and transitive. Okay, next. Every integer is congruent to exactly one number in 0, 1, 2, 3 up to n minus 1 modulo n. So this we should be very, very careful in this concept. Every integer is congruent to exactly one number in 0, 1, 2, 3 up to n minus 1 modulo n. Next, equivalence relation. A binary relation R over a set Y is a subset of Y cross Y. So we denote here relation A comma B belongs to R as A related to B. Example, we can go for an equal is an equivalence relation, because a relation is an equivalence relation on a set Y if, as I told you previously, the relation should satisfy the reflexive property, symmetric property, and transitive property. That is, A should be related to A. Just the previous one we have seen A congruent to A. Is it not? Same thing here. Symmetric, for all A comma B belongs to R, A related to B implies B related to A. Then transitive, if A related to B and B related to C, this implies A related to C. For example, what they have taken here, equal relation they have taken, equality. Okay. So in the place of R, if I put equal, what happens for the reflexive? A is equal to A. It is true. A is equal to A. The next, I'm just taking two numbers. A is equal to B means then B is equal to A. They are two equal means either A is equal to B or B is equal to A. Both are true. Then next, I'm just going to take three numbers, three terms. A comma B comma C I'm just taking. If A is equal to B and B is equal to C, then what is the thing then? The first number is equal to second one and the second one is equal to third one means automatically the first one is be equal to the third term. Okay. So first term is equal to third term, sorry, second term, and second term is equal to third term. Hence, first term is equal to the third term. Okay. So here for this R, we are just using an example as an equality relation. This is a relation or the set of integers. Next. So more properties about the congruence relation. Let A comma B comma C comma N be the integers where N greater than 0. I'm just taking N as a positive integer. If A is congruent to B mod N and C is congruent to D mod N. Okay. So just you recall the definition for modulus, that is congruency over the modulus. N divides A minus B, and here the second one, N divides C minus D. You please remember that one. Then, so if these two things are true, if A is congruent to B mod N and C congruent to D mod N, then their addition, that is A plus C is congruent to B plus D mod N. Also, its difference, A minus C is congruent to B minus D mod N. This is an excellent property in congruency. In all the basic theorems, we'll be using this concept. At the same time, product also plays a role here. A into C is congruent to B into D mod N. So all the basic operations will come over here. Addition, subtraction, and multiplication. Okay. So here they are sum, difference, and their product. So two congruence relations are given. Their sum we are talking about, their difference we are talking about, and then their product. So whenever I deal with the example, the series example, 5 is congruent to 12 mod 7. And 3 is congruent to minus 4 mod 7. Minus 4 mod 7. So when I use the product for this, what we get now? Left hand side I'm just multiplying it. 5 3s are 15. Right hand side minus 48 mod 7. So now I'm having 15 is congruent to minus 48 mod 7. So 15. So according to the definition of congruency, if A is congruent to B mod N, then A minus B is a multiple of N. So here I'm having 15 is congruent to minus 48 modulo 7 means, see if you subtract A minus B, what happens here? 15 minus of minus 48 is nothing but 63. So 63 is a multiple of 7. Otherwise, 7 divides 63. Otherwise, 7 divides 63. Then if we use the addition concept, what happens here? Left hand side, I'm just adding 5 plus 3, 8. So 8 is congruent to 12 minus 4, 8. 8 is congruent to 8 mod 7. It also satisfies. Then let's go for the subtraction, the difference. 5 minus 3, 2. 2 is congruent to 16 mod 7. 12 minus of minus 4. 16 mod 7. We're going for the division. So 2 is congruent to. Subtraction first we're going for it here. A minus b. We're going for subtraction here. So 5 minus 3 equal to 2 is congruent to 12 minus of minus 4, 16. Mod 7. So left hand side I have 2, right hand side I have 16. So when I use the concept of a minus b, what we have here? 2 minus 16. So 2 minus 16 is nothing but minus 14. So minus 14 is a multiple of 7. Minus 14 is a multiple of 7. Otherwise, 7 divides minus 14. Hence, if A is congruent to B mod n and C congruent to D mod n, then A plus C is congruent to B plus D mod n, A minus C congruent to B minus D mod n, and A into C is congruent to B into D mod n. This is the main property over here. Next, multiplicative inverse. So we're taking two integers, A comma B, and n as a positive integer. We say that B is a multiplicative inverse of a modulo n. B is a multiplicative inverse. B is a multiplicative inverse of a modulo n if AB is congruent to 1 mod n. Okay. B is a multiplicative inverse of A modulo n. This A. This A. So B is known to be the multiplicative inverse of A modulo n if their product is congruent to 1 mod n. Their product is congruent to 1 mod n. And here they're given one statement over here. Given integers n greater than 0 and a, then a has a multiplicative inverse modulo n, if and only if a and n are relatively prime. Only if this a and n are relatively prime, then only a will be having a modulo multiplicative inverse. A will be having a multiplicative inverse. So here we use the concept of a and n are relatively prime. Linear equation modulo n. The next one, linear equation modulo n. If GCD of a comma n is equal to 1, then the equation Ax congruent to 1 mod n has a unique solution where x lies between 0 and n. And moreover, this solution is often represented as A inverse modulo n. A inverse modulo n. So GCD of any two numbers. I'm just taking GCD of a comma. You can remember if GCD is equal to 1 means what type of numbers will be having it over there. If GCD of a comma n equal to 1, then the equation Ax congruent to 1 mod n has a unique solution where 0 less than x less than n. And what is that unique solution? This solution is often represented as A inverse modulo n. See here, they given just two steps, they given the proof here. If Ax1 is congruent to 1 mod n and Ax2 is congruent to 1 mod n, then it's subtraction. According to the previous properties, Ax1 minus Ax2 is congruent to 1 minus 1, 0, 0 mod n. Otherwise, n divides Ax1 minus Ax2. If n divides Ax1 minus Ax2 means what is the meaning? N divides x1 minus x2. This implies that then x1 minus x2 is equal to 0. x1 minus x2 is equal to 0 in this case. Now, in this example, first we shall see here 3 5s are 15 is congruent to 1 mod 7. Okay. Now, let us try to solve this one. Let us try to solve this one. 3x plus 4 congruent to 3 mod 7. Okay. So, let us solve. Solve means what is it? We are going to find the value for x. Let us try to solve 3x plus 4 congruent to 3 mod 7. So, first step, subtract 4 from both the sides. In both the sides, I'm just subtracting 4. So, this 4 goes off. Right hand side, if I subtract 4, 3 minus 4 equal to minus 1 mod 7. So, using this, we can go for it now. Minus 1. We know that minus 1 is congruent to. Minus 1 is congruent to 6 mod 7. Okay. So, minus 1 is congruent to 6 mod 7. This you can go for the concept of A is equal to Qn plus R. We have seen the example in the previous slides itself. In the beginning itself, we have seen this one. So, minus 1 is congruent to 6 mod 7. Thus, so minus 1 is congruent to 6 mod 7 means then what happens here? 3x is congruent to the place of minus 1. What do you have? 6 mod 7. So 3, therefore, 3x is congruent to 6 mod 7. Now, next step, just multiply by 5 on both the sides. So 3 into 5 into x is equal to 5 into 6 into mod 7. In this case, what we have now? Thus, x congruent to 1x. Again, this 1x is congruent to it just getting the same terms as it is seen. 1x is congruent to, that is x is congruent to the same thing, I'm writing it here. 3 into 1x congruent to 3 into 5 into x congruent to 5 into 6. Remember this one. 3 into 5 into x again congruent to 5 into 6. That is congruent to 5 6 are 30. Okay. Again 30 is congruent to, so what we have here now? 2 modulo 7. So 30 congruent to 30. If I divide this by 30 divided by 7 means what I get here? 7 4s are 28. Okay. So what is the remainder over there? 2 is the remainder. That is 30 minus 2, 28. Okay. So 30, I'm just dividing by 7. 7 4s are 28. The remainder is going to be 2. So here 30 congruent to 2 mod 7. Thus, any x satisfies 3x plus 4 congruent to 3 mod 7 will satisfy x congruent to 2 mod 7. That is and vice versa. It's a fantastic thing. If please step by step, this has to be followed clearly. Any x satisfies 3x plus 4 congruent to 3 mod 7. Okay. It will be satisfying this x congruent to 2 mod 7. So two similarities we have brought here. And vice versa. This in another way also it is true. If any x satisfying x congruent to 2 mod 7 will be satisfying 3x plus 4 congruent to 3 mod 7. That is also true. Solving linear congruences. Let a comma n comma z dash be the integers. As usual, we are taking n as a positive integer. If GCD of a comma n is equal to 1, then AZ is congruent to AZ dash modulo n if and only if Z is congruent to Z dash modulo n. So this is true only if the GCD of a comma n is equal to 1. Okay. So AZ is congruent to AZ dash modulo n if and only if Z is congruent to Z dash modulo n. Otherwise, more generally, what can we say here is if D is equal to GCD of a comma n. Okay. If D is here, GCD of a comma n, then AZ is congruent to AZ dash modulo n if and only if Z is congruent to Z dash modulo n by D. Z is congruent to Z dash modulo n by D. So example here. Please see this example. Here A is equal to A is dash modulo n. I'm just taking it here. In the place of A, I'm just taking here 5. The place of Z 2. And in the place of Z dash, I'm just having here minus 4. So 5 2s are 10. 10 is equal to minus 20 mod 6. This happens only if 2 is congruent to minus 4 mod 6. 2 is congruent to minus 4 mod 6. 10 is congruent to minus 20 mod 6. 10 is congruent to minus 20 mod 6 means what is the meaning here? 10 is congruent to minus 20, sorry, minus 20, sorry. 10 is congruent to minus 20 mod 6. So 10 minus of minus 20 is 30. So 30 is a multiple of 6. If and only if 2 is congruent to, that is z is congruent to z dash, is it not? According to this theorem statement, 2 is congruent to minus 4 mod 6. So according to the definition of congruency, 2 minus of minus 4, that is 6 is a multiple of 6, otherwise 6 divides 6. So this example satisfies this statement. Same thing here. 3 5s are 15. 15 is congruent to 9 mod 6. 15 minus 9, 6. 6 is a multiple of 6. Again, same time, in the place of z, I'm taking here 5. In the place of z dash, I'm just taking here 3. So just this example satisfies this theorem. Next, Euler phi function phi of n. So what is this phi of n? Phi of n is nothing but size of Zn asterisk. There is Zn modulo over there. The number of 1 less than equal to k less than n that are relatively prime to n. We're just taking the relatively prime to n numbers. P is a prime. So number of, that is phi of phi is phi function. Number of primes is equal to p minus 1 in this modulo. Okay. So Zp asterisk is nothing but 1, 2, 3 up to p minus 1. So this gives the Euler phi function. It is denoted by phi of n. So phi of n is nothing but size of Zn asterisk. So I'm just taking an example here. Z12 asterisk. X lies between 0 and 12. GCD of x comma 12 equal to 1. Relatively prime we are using it, is it not? So GCD of x comma 12 is equal to 1. So what are numbers here? 1, 5, 7, 11. That is phi of 12 equal to 4. So number of relatively prime numbers. Number of relatively primes for 12 is 4. 4 numbers are there. So how many numbers are present? Size. We are talking about the size means what is it? How many numbers are present over there? 4 numbers are there. So phi of 12 equal to 4. And characteristic 12, we are going to use the modulo 12 here. It is product 12, multiplication modulo 12. It is here 1, 5, 7, 11, here 1, 5, 7, 11. Okay. So this going the multiplication modulo 1 into 1, 1, 1, 5 is 5. 1 7s are 7, 1 11s are 11. So everything is less than 12. So I'm just keeping it as it is. The next 5 1s are 5, 5 5s are 25. So if this 5 5s are 25 means what will happen here? 12 dividing 25, remainder is going to be equal to 1. So 12 2s are 24, remainder is equal to 1. Again 5 7s are 35. 5 7s are 35. Divide the 35 by 12. So what will I get here? 12 2s are 24. The remainder is equal to 11. Again 5 11s are 55. 5 11s are 55. So just divide by 12. Divide by 12. Okay. So in that case, what will I have here? 5 11s are 55 will be having it. 5 11s are 55 will be having it. So what will I have here? Divide by 12. Yes. 12 4s are 48. So remainder is going to be equal to 7. Okay. Just like this, 7 1s are 7. So on 5s are 35. Dividing by 12, I'm getting the remainder as 11. Again, 7 7s are 49. Again, dividing by 12, 12 4s are 48. Remainder is equal to 1. Again, 7 11s are 77. When you divide by 12, what will I get here? 12 6 are 72. Remainder is going to be equal to 5. Again, 11 1s are 11. Again, 11 5s are 60. When I divide by 12, remainder is 7. Again, 11 7s are 77. Again, divide by 12. I'm getting the remainder is 5. Same thing, 11 11s are 121. 11 11s are 121. 121, if I divide by 12, 12 tens are 120. The remainder is equal to 1. Okay. So this laterally based on the laterally prime, we are just framing this multiplication model or table. This is just a statement over here. If P comma Q are distinct primes, then phi of PQ is equal to P minus 1 and Q minus 1. This is a general statement. Small example will be dealing with this. PQ up to 1 to from 1 to PQ. P is equal to multiples of Q up to PQ, multiples of P up to PQ, and one multiple of both P and Q up to PQ. Just remember the statement. Hence, phi of PQ is equal to PQ minus P minus Q plus 1. That is equal to P minus 1 into Q minus 1. So these are things we have to remember here. Phi of PQ. So PQ minus P minus Q plus 1. We are given the statement as both P and Q. So plus 1, that is equal to P minus 1 into Q minus 1, where here P and Q are distinct prime numbers. I'm just taking it here. Next. Find all the solution of the congruence, higher order congruence we're talking here. 20x is congruent to 4 mod 30. And next example, 20x is congruent to 30 mod 4. So here, what is A here? In the first example, A is equal to 20, B is equal to 4, and M is equal to 30. That is, AX is congruent to B mod M. AX is congruent to B mod M. Then, so what is my G here? G is equal to A comma M, that is equal to GCD, 20 comma 30. So first for A and M, that is 20 comma 30, I'm just finding it, that is equal to 10. And here, G is equal to 10. So G does not divide B, hence 10 does not divide B. Just see here, according to the statement, G does not divide B. Therefore, here also what is the answer I'm getting it here? 10 does not divide 4. The given equation has no solution. Same thing, next one. Second example, A is equal to 20, B is equal to 30, M is equal to 4. Then G is equal to A comma M is equal to 20 comma 4. So 20 comma 4, what is the GCD over that is equal to 4. Same thing, G does not divide B, hence 4 does not divide, that is what is the meaning here? 4 does not divide 30. So this equation also has no solution. These are some problems of higher order congruences. Thank you.